on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Matt Tolson. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button for future Jeep content. In today's video, we're going to be installing the Teraflex HD spare tire carrier. This is just going to be the tire carrier itself, not the hinge supports. This is rated up to a 39-inch tire, which is perfect because I run 39s. But you may be asking yourself, why am I running a 38? Make sure to hit that subscribe button because in future content we'll go over what I got planned for the Jeep. But without further ado, let's go get in onto the installation and get this spare tire mounted. First step in installing the new tire carrier is going to be removing these 6 screws that hold in the brake light. These are T25 Torx bits, and then once these are a thing, we'll go ahead and pry this off. Don't be too aggressive with it, but you may have to go ahead and work it off since it does clamp in. So let's get into that. Once all 7 screws are removed, go ahead and start prying. The other screws are falling off now. And then make sure, once you start pulling it off, to go ahead and unclip the wiring. And then this is when you'll want to go ahead and unplug the brake. Make sure to put this off to the side. You're going to be reusing this on the new mount. Once all 6 screws are removed, you got the light off, you got it unplugged, put all that to the side, lights to the side. You're going to go ahead and remove these 2, also T25. Remove these 2, this will pop the studs out, make sure to leave them there. And then also, once we're done there, next up, removing these 8 13mm sockets. Hang on. You get some B-roll. An extender. Okay. Alright, once you get the studs hammered in there, make sure they're sitting back there. Once again, 13mm, there's going to be 8 of them. This removes the tire carrier, and then we're going to go ahead and get that light removed here next. So don't forget the... Alright, filming? Yep. Alright, once you have all 8 bolts off, make sure to keep them. This will going to go on the new one. And then pull out the wiring. Once all 8 bolts are removed, this should come out. Be noted, if you have a newer vehicle, you will notice the camera is still stuck in there once you pull this off. It took me about 15 minutes to figure out what was going on, how to get it off. I think this was a factory defect on Jeep's part. And so what I had to do was take a socket and a hammer and hammer at these little bushings where it looks like it was melted in. And then, as you can see, they're pretty beat up now, just to get this camera off because it was melted to this. Whether it was my model defect, it was because of the heat, who knows, but this piece, this plastic piece, had come apart from this metal and melted to this. So what you'll have to do is literally continually hammer this out, each one of these little holes, until it falls out. So, I haven't seen any videos that state that, so if you're having issues getting your camera out, that's most likely what. It's most likely either melted to the plastic, from heat, who knows, factory. So keep note, make sure to bring a hammer, because you're going to need it to get this thing off. Alright, now these pieces are separated, you're going to go ahead and get these little T8s out, 3 screws, then the camera will finally pop out, and then you'll be able to unplug this wire. Without further ado, after 30 minutes of hammering at my tailgate, let's go ahead and get this camera off. Alright, once those little T8 screws are out, and you go ahead and push that piece together. You would think you pull the silver part, but this whole little pink part comes apart. And there you go. Now the camera's off. Careful with that. Don't want to scratch that, crack it. And now you officially have all the stock crap out. Go ahead and install the new one. You're going to be using those factory 13 millimeters. And as you did with the plastic one, go ahead and put the Teraflex one on. After all 13 millimeter bolts are installed, all 8 of them, you're going to want to get a torque wrench out. These bolts are going to get tightened to 25 pound-feet of torque. So we're going to go ahead and do that. If you can, we definitely recommend 2 people for the job. This tire carrier is pretty heavy duty. I tried to do it by myself. You definitely could, but if you want to try and avoid scratching the tailgate, definitely recommend it second hand. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and torque these bad boys down. So. On there. As you can see, I already got the tire carrier completely installed. I did this on the ground. I feel that is the best way to do it. And then once the car is on there, to go ahead and torque these down. Take the provided nuts they provide. You're going to want to torque these studs to 150 pound-feet of torque. And then also install these here. We're going to adjust those once I have the spare tire. But as you can see, I already know which holes they're going to go in because I am using the max tire. So you need to use it in the max tire size, which is these top studs. So go ahead and torque these down real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get that wiring done. We're almost done. Once all studs are torqued down, next step, you're going to want to install this. Depending on where you put your studs, either you're going to use the top or the bottom holes. Obviously, since I maxed it out, I'm going to use the bottom holes. So you're going to want to go ahead and use a 4 millimeter Allen wrench, tighten these 3, and then we'll go ahead and stick the wire in, and we'll be almost done. Alrighty guys, as you can see I skipped a few steps, so just because I don't have the tire, it's upstairs, so I gotta go ahead and grab it. But as you can see, I went ahead and tightened those 2 screws. There's 3 screws that tighten that camera itself to the housing, and then those 2 for the cover. And then after that, you go ahead, stick the wire. Obviously you would do this after the tire's already on, but go ahead and stick this wire up through that hole, and then it goes through that mount, and then you go ahead and crank that. You put the third brake light. There's a couple little pieces inside there you have to cut just to make sure it fits. And then the 2 factory screws bolt it back down. But as you can see guys, that is pretty much it for that. I'll get some B-roll here just shortly once the tire's on and torqued down. I got a couple other things to do, but for the most part it is all done. So without further ado, I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of these shots. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.